Welcome back to our life out in the country. Today, we're going to talk about the chicks. One of the eggs have pipped. Look it. Can you see it? Guys, check this out. Do you see this? Another egg pipped. We are a day early, day 20. And we got 2 chicks trying to hatch out. We had 14 Bielefelder chicken eggs that we put in our incubator. And on day 14, we candled them, and I think we took out, how many? 3? Mm-hmm. Took out 3 eggs that were just not developing at all. We were feeling pretty good about those numbers. Unfortunately, the good news stops there. We have some bad news for you guys. Out of those 11 eggs that were left, we've only had 2 hatch.
I think that's all we're going to get from it.
Yeah. If you guys have been following our community page, you know we posted a couple updates on there, and we had 3 eggs that actually pipped. 2 of them hatched out with no problem. The one of them didn't make it. In fact, it pipped out. It pipped the shell open, which means it just made a little hole. And I don't know why, but it started bleeding from the hole, and it just didn't make it. The other ones...
They haven't done anything.
Haven't done a thing. And from our past experience, we're going to assume they're dead, but they are in the incubator. And we did remove the live chicks from the incubator as well as the dead one. And I know you're supposed to not open it up while those other eggs are hatching, but we honestly feel like they're not going to make it because we do remember that some of them had...
tiny air sacs.
Yeah, some of them you could see too much light in the shell when we candled them.
Yeah.
On lockdown day, we candled them again, and some of them we knew weren't far enough along. There was just too much light going through, but they did develop. There was large dark masses in the shell, but they weren't far enough along, so they must have died somewhere along the way. We're gonna let them stay in there. There's 4 eggs in there?
Yeah.
4 eggs that are sitting in there that we're gonna let sit for maybe another couple days, but we really aren't expecting anything out of them. Wow, we're so disappointed.
We were really expecting like a really good hatch rate with this one.
Yeah.
Since the package came on time this time.
Everything was perfect.
And more of the eggs had growth in them.
Yeah.
And then we only end up with 1 extra compared to the last batch, which came 3 days late.
2 out of 14 is terrible. That's terrible. We just have to learn from the experience, and that's what this is all learning. And I really hate learning at the expense of life. I really hate to see those chicks not make it. I don't know if it's anything that we could have done differently, but we're trying to look at every factor. We're going to check these eggs like we did the last time, and we're going to open them up and see what the chicks look like and when did they die. The humidity, we didn't add any moisture during this whole incubation run until lockdown, and the humidity was high the whole time because it's been humid out. There was really no way for us to change that other than buying a dehumidifier and dehumidifying the house. I don't know, there's no way to address the humidity, and that probably led to the small air sacs, the air cells in the eggs. They need a good sized air cell, and in fact our first hatch, and the one that came out just perfect and just easy, was the one with the largest air cell. They need that because that's what they breathe right before they hatch out. They need that air to breathe. And if you have a little tiny air cell,
it's not much for them to breathe.
They can't breathe, and that also means they can't move well because there's too much fluid in the egg. They drown or they suffocate or whatever happens, yeah. So that's kind of frustrating. We're still learning a lot, but we have had experience in the past. We hatched out our quail eggs, and even though they came smashed in the male, we got 4 out of it. That was pretty good.
Although quail eggs are easier to incubate, and they weren't shipped as far.
Right.
They came from Kentucky.
And something that you guys don't know, here's a fun fact. I used to have bearded dragons, and I bred them a couple of times, and I incubated the eggs, and they're lizard eggs, right? Different than a chicken, but I had huge success in incubating and hatching out lizards. I mean, I'm talking almost 100%. I might have lost 1 or 2 eggs out of 23 eggs, 22 eggs. You know, lizards like bearded dragons, they lay a large clutch of eggs, I guess they call it. I don't know, a big pile. And I would get almost, I mean, just excellent hatch rates. And I use a very similar incubator to this, something I made, a homemade incubator. They were super easy. I can't believe how picky, how tricky, how sensitive chicken eggs are. They are tough.
And you can't look up how to do it because, like, nobody knows. They all say something different than each other. Like, nobody truly knows why they're doing it the way they're doing it, and what works for some people doesn't work for others.
Yeah. We see a large array of information online. We try to research as much as we can.
And this is just, like, impossible.
Yeah, we're going to have to find what works for us because your incubation might change depending on the breed, the incubator, what part of the country or world you live in.
Your altitude.
So many factors. So you can't just look it up online and say what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, why did our chick pip out so early that it was bleeding? What caused that? Why wasn't it developed? Why did one chick pip out a day early and the other one's not at all? It's so weird, you know? But we're doing everything we can. These things happen. There's loss. And we're going to keep working at it until we find a good solution, the right humidity, the right incubator. We might have to change the incubator. We might have to change our egg turner. Maybe it's a cheap one.
We might try just doing it by hand sometime. Maybe the upright turners aren't the best.
I'm using a cheap turner, and that could contribute to the chicks not developing right and not having the strength to hatch out. I have no idea. Raising chickens, super easy unless you get a disease or a mite, a parasite or something. But overall, chickens are super easy. Hatching them out, difficult. That's a whole new game.
The best thing is if you had a broody hen to just do it all for you.
Nature does it best. Yeah.
That's the best.
But here's the good news. The 2 that hatched are doing awesome. So we'll show you them right now. They are a boy and a girl. We got one of each.
So now you can see what they look like compared to each other.
You can see that the girl has the chipmunk stripes and the male has the lighter feathers.
Yeah, and it also has a yellow dot on its head. And
that's a feature of the Bielefelders that we love. It's auto-sexing, which means you can tell from hatching which ones are the males and which ones are the females, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like brilliant. Most breeds people have, you can't do that with. And you have to wait until they get much older.
Now the chicks, we decided to take out of the incubator, and they were starting to peck. They were pecking at the one that was pipping out, and I don't know, it was just getting weird in there. So we took out those chicks and put them in the brooder with the big chicks. I wasn't sure how they were going to get along, but they're getting along fine. The big ones peck every once in a while.
But that's normal.
And the little ones are doing good, and there's such a size difference. Do you see how big?
From day old to 1 month old.
Yeah, that's crazy. I lowered the heater down. The big ones don't need it as much, especially since it's so warm outside right now.
Yeah.
So the heater is lowered down, and you can see we have the heater that they can walk under. It's not a heat lamp. So the little ones can get under there, and the big ones can't get under there anymore. So if they're getting picked on, they have a place to kind of get away from them, and that's really good.
Yep.
Now we told you guys that we would try to get a full hatch on film because last time we missed a part of it, and I think we got that. We're going to go ahead and show that for you now. The egg hatching all the way open. Yep. wasn't that cool? Like watching that? That was the first time I actually watched it hatch out too. Our other batch, I was actually at the store or the post office or something. Where'd I go? I went someplace and I missed it. So this one, I got to see it push out, and that was so cool.
Yep.
And I know that some of you guys will probably think about how much we paid for the eggs and say, wow, what a loss. But even though we paid a fortune for those eggs, I do want to make note that if we had bought live chicks...
If we bought 2 females and a male like we got...
What we have.
It would have cost $132 shipped.
To get them to us.
Yeah.
From the same farm.
Yeah.
So we actually saved money still, even with huge loss.
Even with only 3 hatching.
Yeah. The live chicks cost so much and the shipping cost so much that it actually would have been more expensive to buy them live. So we're still doing okay financially on the deal, but it's still a giant loss. We were expecting like 10 chickens. You know, we still have to recoup from that, but we're still ahead as far as buying eggs over like some people might think, oh, you should have bought the chicks, but it would have just cost more money.
Yeah.
So we're okay on that.
Because each female is $29 and each male is $19, and then it's $55 to ship the...
$55? That's crazy shipping.
To ship the live chicks. And that's way over what we paid for the dozen eggs. And then we ended up getting the second batch for free.
Yeah. But man, it stinks, you know, to lose that many eggs. I can't believe it because they were doing so good. We only pulled 3 out during the first candling. And...
Although we didn't candle them that well.
We did a week candling, but we expected a better hatch than 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was really expecting like 10 or something.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to experiment.
Experiment carefully with respect to the life and keep pushing forward. We're going to stay positive. We're not going to give up because there's a way. And if we can't find that way, we're going to let the hens do what they do, and we're going to get a good hen to sit on some eggs for us. Yeah. With the cost of incubating, buying the incubator, buying the eggs, doing all that, you know, it's crazy. I mean, if you can get a good hen to do it...
That's the best way.
Yeah. So we wish we had better news for you guys, but at least 2 made it, and we can be happy and thankful for those 2.
Now we have 5 chickens total.
Yeah. And we're moving anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll make do. We'll figure it out. We hope you enjoyed the video and seeing that chick hatch and seeing the new babies. They're so cool. Belle named them already.
Oh, yeah. She named the female Cherry and the male Blueberry.
So we have mango, lemon, lime, cherry, and blueberry. Mango is the first one, our Bielefelder. Lemon and lime are the 2 Icelandics. And
cherry and blueberry are the new Bielefelders.
Yeah. And through buying those Icelandic chicks, we found out that the woman who raised those has Bielefelders and really cares about breeding them properly. That would be local eggs that we may be able to get if we wanted to try unshipped eggs.
Yeah. She told us if we ever wanted to buy eggs from her, she has them.
So we're not sure about that at this point because we're preparing to list the house and move. And, you know, as much as we want to get them, we are trying to stay focused on the goal.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, and we'll have another video up soon. So until then, take care.
Bye.